What's the best way to start out as a tutor? On my own, through a franchise, or as an employee? This is a difficult question to answer as we all have different starting points and end goals. Starting with your own business as a franchisee or on your own requires a lot of commitment and hard work. Yet at the same time, they offer you the biggest opportunities for freedom and growth. However, although each of these three options, as with most things in life, there will be drawbacks and they will all provide amazing opportunities. So I really want to tutor, but I don't know how to get started. When anyone starts something new, there is always an element of insecurity, especially when your future and potentially the whole livelihood depends upon it. The term what if is always present in your mind. In this article, what we're going to do is walk through some of the answers to the questions that you might be considering right now so that you can move forward with more confidence and clarity. So what are my actual options? In this section, what we're going to do is we're going to click down the three key options in a jargon-free way. We've got either going solo or self-employed, joining a franchise, or getting an employed tutoring job, such as through a school or agency, etc. So going solo or self-employed, this is potentially the scariest option as you are on your own. You're your own boss. There is no one in your business to tell you what to do. You are completely responsible for whatever happens. So what does this mean? It means you work independently. You set your own hours, your rates, your methods, everything. Your responsibilities, you do your own marketing, you do client communication, you do scheduling and finances. You are, again, responsible for everything. Your income potential, though, you keep everything. You keep 100% of what you earn, minus expenses, obviously. But getting clients may take time. The setup tasks, registering as self-employed, you need to get a DBS check, insurance. You might want to build a website and your social media content. Setting up as self-employed is how I started my journey as a tutor back in 2012. It can feel overwhelming at first, especially if you don't see yourself as a business person. I'd done GCSE and A-level business studies many years before, but in the real world, they actually counted for very little. My main experience of working in a business was helping my dad in the summer holidays as a teenager. But there is so much support out there these days to help you start and grow a business that you will no doubt find that with every new student you gain, your confidence also grows. I found that as I proved to myself I could do it and I got positive testimonials, my confidence started to grow and I threw myself further into the business and I enjoyed it more and more. I could create it around my principles and my beliefs. It became more than just a business, more than just a job. It was something I was proud of, something that I was emotionally attached to. The next option is joining a franchise. And when you join a franchise, there is a trade-off. There is a body of support, but there are also sacrifices. So what does this mean? It means that you operate under an established tutoring brand with systems and resources already in place. What's provided, they'll do a certain element of your marketing, student needs, lesson resources, systems for admin, costs and contracts, usually an upfront fee and or an ongoing commission. You may have less freedom with pricing or lesson formats. But the advantages are there's less pressure to figure it all out alone, which can mean a faster setup. But the limitations also mean that there's less flexibility. You've got ongoing fees, there's possible pressure to meet targets. But if the thought of going it alone makes you freeze, this might offer a reassuring bridge, especially if you can find a franchise which aligns with your own values. In the early days of starting my tutoring business, someone that I'm close to suggested that maybe I could buy into a particular tutoring franchise. This person would provide me with the initial funding if I wanted to go ahead. The franchise had an established name and reputation, and so I would gain sustainable income much quicker. But this franchise method of teaching by rote was so misaligned with what I believed in. Having worked in early years and with special needs children for over a decade, it felt wrong. It felt like I'd be selling my soul to the devil. And as I mentioned previously, if there is a franchise that aligns with your values, it could be an option that's worth considering. Getting an employed or tutoring role is our third option, and this option will feel like the safest path, but it does offer less flexibility. What it means is that you're hired as a tutor, part-time or full-time, often with fixed hours, a salary, a clear role, instructions on how to present the lessons, etc. You can find these roles in schools, tuition agencies, charities, national children tutoring programs, etc. And you don't need to worry about finding clients, marketing, or admin. It is all done for you. But the flip side of that is that the pay is often lower than creating your own tutoring business, but it is predictable and it is stable. The limitations are that there could be fixed hours, there's a curriculum you might have to follow, and limited flexibility in your approach. If stability is more important to you right now than autonomy, gaining a job as a tutor can give you experience, it can give you income and confidence without the pressure of running your own business. Yet, it will give you an insight into what tutoring actually entails and the chance to decide whether it is something that you would like to take further. These days, I have 14 tutors working for me in the local area. They get to choose their own hours, and most of them are employed as PAYE. So I take care of their tax, insurance, etc. However, I am very firm that our ethos is that we build confidence in every lesson, and it's tailored to the needs of that individual. We don't provide a one-style-suits-all approach. They must adapt to the needs of the specific child. So although with one hand I do give them flexibility and freedom, with the other hand I'm very firm with the presentation of the actual lessons, etc. Which one feels safest? Do you have a gut instinct towards which you're leaning? Most people have a fear of failing, the legal stuff, imposter syndrome, etc. There is no one defined answer, and often by standing back and looking at things from a wider angle, you can see the safety nets that can be created for each option. Option one is setting out on your own seems most terrifying as you are 100% responsible. It seems like there is no one there to guide you or to catch you if you fall. However, there are many, many mentors and coaches that out there that can offer you support. There are Facebook groups you can join where you can ask for questions and seek the answers that you need. Option two is a big financial commitment. And what if you can't keep up with their targets? Again, as mentioned previously, they have support staff in place to help you. They want you to succeed because it reflects far better on their brand if you do, and it makes it easier for them to sell more franchises to more people going forward. They can't do it for you because it is still your business, your responsibility, but they can offer you the knowledge, the guidance, the path to help you to reach your targets. The third option of getting a new job as a tutor through an external company removes most of the fears. You don't need to be responsible for the marketing, for finding students, for asking for money, removing families who are unreliable and don't pay or don't turn up for the lessons. None of that is your responsibility. You can just go to work, do what you have to do, and leave again. But maybe that is why you've considered tutoring, because you don't want to leave that conveyor belt style of work and life behind you. You don't want to just go through the motions anymore. What if you want flexibility, but you don't want to be totally alone? You may feel as if you're going around and around in circles at this point. You want work-life balance, but you also want support structures. You want flexibility, but you don't want the isolation of working for yourself. As your own boss, you are responsible for creating your own work-life balance. If you choose to work 4 days a week and take 3 days off, that is entirely up to you. What you will need to do is put a plan in place so that you know how you can afford to do this. How many lessons do I need to complete at what price to fulfill this goal? Knowing your numbers, your personal costs and expenses, your business costs, your lifestyle costs, etc., is paramount. Once you know your costs and the number of hours you want to work, you can establish your tutoring cost per hour. Is it feasible? Will people be willing to pay this? Does it seem a bit high? If it does, is there something I can do that will not cost me any more, but will make my lessons still appear good value at this price? Since early on in the business, I've had mentors. Sometimes they've been one-to-one, other times I have found group mentoring, depending on what I need at that particular point in the business. It's kept me on track and it's put me around other people who have similar or very often bigger goals, who are in the same position as me or further along the journey. It's provided me with others to inspire and guide me. It has taught me that things that I would otherwise have been completely oblivious to, such as creating a knowledge centre of commonly asked questions, such as this one on my website. I've experienced firsthand the advantages of having support systems around me, though it's always been generic business support, which is one reason why I created the tutor support group, so that tailored group or one-to-one support was available for those who wanted to start their own tutoring business. By having a mentor or by joining a Facebook group, you will find that some of that feeling of isolation will be removed. I often found that there were times when I wanted to talk about my business, some of my aspirations, my goals, my worries, the challenges, but wondered who I could talk to. My kids looked bored, my mum would get concerned, maybe I should get a proper job. But a mentor removes some of that. They give you a listening ear. Sometimes what you need isn't advice, it's just someone that you can voice something to. I can remember a few years ago speaking to my mentor, and she asked me a fairly simple question. I can't remember now what it was. And I just broke down into tears. Everything I'd been keeping bottled up just flowed out in a torrent of tears. It was incredible. So, with her advice, that afternoon, I just went into London, met my youngest for lunch, and came home in the evening and set off for my lessons as normal. She said, Lawn, just leave it, put it to a side, have a break, come back to it later. And I guess what I'm trying to say is you can do it yourself, but still have support around you to guide you. If your concern is that you're not great with business stuff and will you have to market yourself, in all honesty, the only method of protecting yourself from doing the business stuff is to be employed by someone else that will do it for you. However, as with each one of these points, there's always flexibility. If you purchase a franchise, there are systems in place to support you with this. They will guide you and they will tell you what to do. They will potentially do some of the marketing for you at head office. This is partly with the monthly fees might be for, but check what the monthly fees do cover. Although it's unlikely that they will promote your personal business, they will promote the brand, drawing attention to it on the national level. There are also means of hiring people to help you on short-term basis so that they can take on the responsibility. Or with the help of Google and the internet, you can also find many of the answers to your questions for free. It just means dedicating time instead of money. When you open your business account, you may also find that they will offer you much of the guidance that you need to complete the early legal steps of starting your business. Is it possible to start one way and switch you later? Yes, of course it is. You're not locked into a decision forever. Starting as an employee will give you the opportunity to discover whether you actually enjoy tutoring before you take the plunge for it alone. You might decide to do it yourself, but then discover that actually I enjoy tutoring, but not the stress of running the business. So you seek out work as an employee, or you purchase a franchise to remove an element of that stress. You might decide to start your own business, but then decide that if you want to buy into a franchise, I would have a lot of groundwork already down and I would move my business considerably further into maturity. Things can change, your circumstances and your goals will inevitably change over time. When I started, my kids still lived at home. They're now all adults. My oldest is engaged to be married and has a young lad, and another baby is due in the next week or two. My son has lived abroad for the last 3 years, and my youngest is moving to Germany imminently. My original goal was to fund a summer holiday for the four of us, but that's no longer relevant. My goals and my business have changed accordingly. You can change your mind, your decision too, as your life and experiences change. What's worked for others like me? When I started tutoring, it never crossed my mind that it was something I could do as an employee. Financially, buying a franchise wasn't an option, though. Like I mentioned, someone close did offer to buy one for me. But with the benefit of over a decade of hindsight, I think I made the right choice for me. It's been slow and steady, incremental steps to grow the business, but I've created my own freedom and something that is founded upon my own beliefs and as to how children should be supported in their learning. The friend that suggested I had a go at tutoring was working as an employee for an agency. She soon left that agency and moved to another. Briefly, she loved it there, but then left there as well. Neither of them provided what she wanted. And sadly, the second venue was unable to survive COVID and closed during the pandemic. Although she couldn't find the one that works for her, many people prefer this option, as what they are seeking is the opportunity to make some extra money without the aggravation that goes with owning their own business. I was once chatting to a chap at a training event. It turned out that he and his wife had purchased a tutoring franchise. Their background was as teachers and they didn't have the experience in business. So they decided to purchase a franchise and benefit from the knowledge of the people who had created this franchise, put the foundations, the knowledge, the systems into place. We each have different starting points and end goals. I believe, speaking to each of them, there were aspects that we all yearned for from what the other person had. However, life was never a smooth, straightforward line. It would throw curveballs and challenges in your direction. And there is no reason why you can't take your first step in one direction today, knowing that tomorrow another path may open up to you that you want to take instead. So, what's next? Whichever route you decide to take, I wish you the best of luck, and here's how we can support you. If you're thinking about starting your own tutoring business, our membership group is designed to help you to build confidence, get practical advice, and feel supported every single step of the way. Whether you're just starting out or growing something that already exists, you're welcome to join us. If you live near Aylesbury in Buckinghamshire and you want to work as a tutor, we occasionally have employed roles for maths and English tutors. Drop us an email if you'd like to find out more. And if you're curious about becoming a Clara James tutoring franchisee, we're not open for new applications right now, but do get in touch to join the waiting list to be the first to hear when we are. Good luck, believe in yourself, start by taking one small step today, and you will make it happen your way. And if you're still not sure, here's a simple question to ask yourself: what do I need most right now? Is it freedom, support, or stability?